All right. What is up, BYU fans, Big 12 fans, and any college football fans watching this because you just love football? Jack Kelly has decided to return to BYU after an awesome season last year for the Cougars. Definitely a big part of their, championship contender run and a big bowl game win. One of the best seasons in a while for BYU. Today, we're going to dive into it. We're going to check out the PFF grades, do a deep dive on what he brings to the team, just how important it is that he's coming back for BYU. Should be a ton of fun, guys. Before we do so, though, please make sure you smash that like button. That's going to help get the video out to more BYU fans and more Big 12 fans. Also, comment down below, what do you guys think of Jack Kelly? Is it not a big deal that he's coming back? Is it a really big deal? Let me know your thoughts. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of BYU and Big 12 content. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos as well. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at Jack Kelly. Okay, guys, and now we are looking at the PFF grades and overall stats for Jack Kelly, and there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good for this guy. Again, he was a pivotal piece of this very impressive BYU defense in 2024. You can see here he played 728 snaps, nearly 300 coverage snaps, over 300 run defense snaps, and a 115 pass rush snaps. So he was a guy that was heavily utilized for this BYU defense, and he was on the field nearly every play, tons of plays for Jack Kelly. And one thing for me to point out in the pro column for Jack Kelly is this ridiculous number that he had 28 pressures on 115 pass rush snaps. That is very, very good. I mean, those are just weirdly high numbers. And you can see overall, he was in almost 300 just passing plays, period. So a very talented player, 28 out of 115 for pass rush. Now, not all of the pass rush snaps is when he actually got a pressure. So his win rate doesn't 100% reflect that. I know it's kind of confusing, but it does tell you that he is a guy that is very talented at rushing the passer. And then on top of that, what I want to point out to you guys is in coverage, he was only targeted 28 times on 298 coverage snaps. And you got to think a lot of offenses do passes to the tight end, passes to the running backs that's on the linebacker to cover these guys. And he got targeted less than 10% of the time. And his guys caught the ball only 19 times, which means that was less than 6%. I think it's right at 6% of the time for when he was covering them. So very impressive. Only allowed 237 yards. That's less than 1 yard per coverage snap. Very good there. He allowed one touchdown. He caught one interception, and he broke up one pass. So very good in coverage. Basically, all the snaps are in the box, so he's getting dirty. He plays a little bit of D-line, but mainly in the box. One thing to point out with him in the slightly concerning category is this number right there. You can see he's 6'2", 240, a little light for a linebacker at college. Not super light, but a little light. And a missed tackle percentage of 19.4%. That is, that's pretty high. I want to show you guys a little bit of where these numbers rank compared to his peers. Let me pull some of this up. So pass rush snaps. So I'm going to do guys that had 100 pass rush snaps. And we'll only go with P4 players. Or P5, I guess. So we're going to look at P4 players or P5 players that had that were linebackers that had at least 100 pass rush snaps and give you guys an idea of how he would rank among his peers. Let's pull it up on the screen here. So now you're seeing it, guys. So these are linebackers and linebackers right here that had at least 100 pass rush snaps. And as you guys can tell, there's not many, right? This is a guy that thrives as a pass rusher. Very, very impressive. There was only 15 pass rushers here that had 100 pass rush snaps. And looking at Jack Kelly, it says 10.5% win percentage on his pass rush snaps. That would put him at number 5 in Power 5 compared to other guys that had a similar sample size of pass rushing to him. But what impresses me too here, guys, is 28 pressures. You see he's right up at the top of this list. Very impressive. 28 pressures. Looking at coverage for guys that had his sample size. So he was in the top third of guys that had a similar sample size as him. And that's an elite group. I mean, this is a guys that played a lot of snaps. He was only being compared to P5 guys in that sample size we just looked at. And now we're looking at linebackers that played at least, let's up this a little. They're much more likely to play some coverage snaps. Let's actually bring this all the way up to, 200. So you can see here, guys, we'll scroll this way. Like I mentioned, very good in coverage was Jack Kelly. So snaps per target. Boom. Where is he? Oh, boom. So looking at it here, guys, there was 128 players that played linebacker at the P4 level. That looked really good. So a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps in coverage. He was tied for number 43 in targets per snap. And we can even look at snaps per reception. And I believe the numbers are even more impressive, where he was 25th out of 128 players. So you can see in coverage and pass rushing, he was a very, very dynamic, very high-end player compared to guys with his sample size. Now, the part of Jack Kelly that's not so great is going to be the run support. And I'm going to show you guys what we're talking about here. So missed tackle percentage. Give it a second to load here. So again, we'll go with that number 200. So missed tackle percentage, you don't want to be high on this list. It's not good to be high. He was 18th on this list out of, let's see, how many guys are actually on this list? I mean, a lot of guys. So 136 guys. He was 18th in missed tackle percentage. So that's one of the worst linebackers in college football for missed tackle that had a similar sample size. So you don't like to see that. The other thing to see would be stop percentage. So making plays behind the line, blowing up a play. Stops are just neutral or negative plays for the offense. Let's see. Did I pass him? Yeah, so pretty far down this list as well. 136 guys. He was number 111. As a run defender, very good. As a pass rusher and a coverage guy, very, very good. Run defender, not so good. Stick around, guys. I'm going to give you my final thoughts in a second here. Okay, guys, I'm about to give you guys my final thoughts on Jack Kelly, how big of an impact this is, what I think he brings to the team. I gave you some of my thoughts before, but I'll give you them in a little more detail. Before I do so, though, please make sure you guys like the video. That's going to help get it out to more BYU fans, more Big 12 fans. Also, comment down below. What do you guys think about Jack Kelly? Where's the good? Where's the bad? How big of a deal is it that he's coming back? Also, subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the content and want to get more of it. Hit the notification bell. We're dumping out a ton of content all the time, guys. So if you're not hitting that notification bell, there's a really good chance you're missing it. So now my final thoughts on Jack Kelly. I've mentioned it earlier. Very, very good pass rusher. Very, very good coverage linebacker. Two super high-end qualities. Like these are two really powerful tools to be really good at, right? I do think it is concerning where he is in run defense. The missed tackle percentage was rough. The stop percentage was rough. And even at Weber State the year before, and this is at Weber State, not exactly playing a star-studded schedule, he had a pretty high missed tackle percentage. And so my thoughts with Jack Kelly is I really hope he gets in the weight room, beefs up a little, and really works on his form and hopefully doesn't miss as many tackles this next year, because you don't want a linebacker at a 20% missed tackle rate. That's really high. And you saw number 111 out of 136, very low. Stop percentage was, one of the worst as well out of guys in his sample size. So there was a lot of guys too. So it was, not what you want to see. But again, very good in coverage, very good at rushing the passer. I think this is a very important player for BYU to get back. And I think if you're a BYU fan, you should be very excited. And if you're a fan of an opposing Big 12 team like me with Utah, you know, you're going to want to keep an eye on this guy. When you're trying to throw the ball, this guy can cause some havoc and can make you have some bad plays. But if you're Jack Kelly, if you're BYU fans, you are really going to want to see him improve in the run game. So let's hope he can get a little better at defending the run as long as they're not playing Utah. I am out of here, guys. Go Big 12.